Okay, so you voted on this. All right, now we're entering another part of the lecture. We've kind of defined, I hope, mass communication and thought about it, thought about examples of it. Now we're going to dig into the different elements of the what is communication diagram from your textbook. First, we're going to talk about the source and receiver. Second, we will talk about the medium. What is it? What does that mean? The message. We'll think about the message. We're going to dig into what that's all about. Then we'll talk about the effect of this communication. Okay, so first is source and receiver. And one very important thing we have acknowledged today is you've got to have both for communication. What is the sound of a tree falling in the forest? If there's no one there to listen to it, so I kind of think of it as source and receiver. You can't have one without the other. And now a musical interlude, which I think is amusing, and please watch it. Okay. Hopefully we get the point there with that little introductory clip of a TV show called Married with Children, which was a big hit a long time ago. Ask your parents. Got to have both, but they're different configurations of source and receiver. It can be one-to-one, with me just talking to my friend, one to a few, talk to a couple of friends, but when we talk about one to many, many, that's when we have mass communication, when the source is a multiple source. So the right diagram, again, for mass communication, and of course your book does provide it, and I think we will look at it in our next lecture, is lots of little orange bulbs or purple bulbs or balls or whatever there are on the right side of that diagram. Okay, that's mass communication. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's talk about source and receivers, and where do we see? Here's my pug Eloise coming up to say good morning to me. By the way, she just finished her breakfast. Was that good, Eloise? Was it good? Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. I'm a little busy right now. Okay. So how do animals communicate? Well, Eloise is communicating with me. My pug. My pug I share with my daughter. She's with me about half the time. She's communicating. She jumped up on me after her breakfast, and she's sort of letting me know that she liked my cooking, and she wants to be close and snuggle a little bit. She wants some affection. But what other ways do animals communicate? So, do the amoebas or whatever were the first life? Plankton? Does plankton communicate other than on SpongeBob? Well, of course, animals communicate a lot with sounds, for one thing. And so here's a little nice little piece about amazing birds. Those bird songs say things. They say, "This is my territory, get out of here." Maybe sometimes they say, "Whoops, there's a crow getting too close," or an owl or something. Might say, "I'm interested in making a new friend." All kinds of things, right? So animals communicate. We human beings are not the only things that communicate on this planet. Sometimes I think we think we're the only beings at all on this planet sometimes, which is one of our biggest problems, and look what it's doing to us and all these other innocent creatures now. All right. How do humans communicate? We're now going to look at a video from a masterpiece of a film called 2001: A Space Odyssey. It came out in the 60s, and I think it might have been 68. At that point, 2001 seemed a long, long way away. The director of this film was Stanley Kubrick, who directed a number of other masterpieces. Just a brilliant director. If you're not familiar with this film, look him up. If you're not familiar with this film, I suggest you watch it. We're going to look at the beginning, part of the beginning sequence. As we've talked about animals communicating, and now these are early humans. We're going to look at early humans. We're sort of kind of looking at the development of communication amongst life on this planet. Okay, we talked about animals. Now, obviously, humankind does the most sophisticated, deepest symbolic communication. And we're going to look at, get a sense of maybe how that developed, just to kind of put the idea of communication in context a little bit. So, we're now going to look at the beginning of 2001: A Space Odyssey.